In this video, we are creating the Artificer's measure. We will discuss why this is my favorite skilling offhand, and I will show you why it is extremely useful not only for the upcoming 110 crafting update, but also a ton of the other upcoming 110 skills too.
You miss me when I go. You know I'm fancy, sipping me up like brandy, make you wanna get so handsy. Yes, please.
The Artificer's measure requires a ton of different materials to be created. First up, you will be needing 99 crafting and 102 archaeology to put the thing together. On top of this, you will also need level 40 dungeoneering. You will need to dig up and restore a few archaeology artifacts. Once you have restored all of these, you can buy a magic stone from a construction shop, buy and upgrade a gem bag from the dungeoneering shop, obtain 10 mystic cloth, an onyx, and then finally 10 blessed molten glass and a glorious Silthril chain. I covered exactly how you get these last two in my blessed flask video, and they are quite annoying for the blessed flask in particular, but not as bad here as you don't need as many of them. Once you've got all that, you can create the Artificer's measure, which will be an untradeable item that you can use forever without any upkeep cost. So now that we have the Artificer's measure, what exactly does it do? Let's have a look at the effects of the Artificer's measure in order from least to most useful. The first effect of the Artificer measure might be quite obvious, as you used a gem bag in its creation. So this item will act as an improved version of the upgraded gem bag, allowing you to store up to 100 of each of the gems up to and including Dragonstone, making it a perfect addition to a Slayer setup, as you can automatically loot and store all those single gem drops that a lot of monsters tend to drop. The next effect is perfect if you enjoy using the harps in Privdenas to train your crafting and construction. The harps are the best fully AFK and fully free crafting and construction method in the game, and with the measure equipped, the Voice of Seren effect will always be active, giving you improved AFK rates and giving you a 20% increase to your XP rate at all times. The measure is also useful when doing Croesus, as it will slightly increase the speed of restoring the statues. Next up is an incredibly useful effect, especially for Iron Man. When creating urns or flasks, this item will give a 5% chance of duplicating every manufactured item. In short, you will be getting more potion flasks and crystal potion flasks, which is incredibly useful as you can only get a certain amount of them every single day. On top of that, for the urns, it also speeds up how many urns you make and how many of them you get from your supplies. A ton of skills benefit from having urns. And for those of you who aren't using urns or are not aware of how strong they are, with an urn enhancer, they are a straight up 25% increase to your XP rates. Especially for Iron Man, who can't get as many XP boosts, this is huge. And something you absolutely want to get, especially if you're trying to prepare for those 110 skill updates. Just to give you an idea, if you're going from level 1 all the way to 110 and use urns, it's basically like getting 10 million experience for free. 25 million if you go for 120, by the way. Definitely worth spending some time making the urns. That brings me to the final effect of the Artificer's measure and how you can use it to your best effect. The final effect of the Artificer measure requires you to have one or both of the following scrolls: the Scroll of Dexterity and the Scroll of Proficiency, which can be purchased from the Dungeoneering reward shop. Essentially, if you have these unlocked, you have a chance of saving leather when crafting or planks when doing construction. And wearing the Artificer's measure will increase and boost those items' effects. When you proc one of these effects, you get a Artificer measure stack. These stacks will last for 5 minutes, but can be refreshed anytime you get another stack. Each stack will give you 0.5% increase to your experience rate in crafting and construction, stacking up to 10 times for a 5% increase in experience. That is a pretty solid boost for these skills, which are quite expensive or annoying to train, Especially for Iron Men who need to obtain the supplies, this item is a must-have if you want to go for the higher skill levels. Saving more supplies and getting more experience from your supplies is just too good to pass up. Now, you might be thinking, what if I want to train my crafting with a different method? Let's say gems or battle staves. Well, fear not, you can still get the bonus from the Artificer's measure if you're just smart about it. The way to go about it is to create two separate presets, one which crafts hides and one which crafts your gems. You can then just craft some hides for about a minute until you get your 10 stacks. Then start crafting your gems and you can get your boosted 5% XP rates on your gems, or any other skilling method of your choosing. Just make sure that before your stacks run out, you just reload the other preset again and create a few hides until you proc it again. This method will allow you to get a 5% XP boost in any crafting and construction method. My two favorite ways to use this is to get more XP out of my gems and when I'm doing construction contracts. Because in construction contracts, it's not uncommon for the buff to run out before you can refresh it again. So doing some hides between your contracts to refresh the timer can be a good idea to upkeep the boost. And because of all of these effects, the Artificer's measure is my favorite skilling offhand, and definitely one to obtain as soon as you can unlock it, as it will save you time and millions of experience in tons of different skills. Especially as skills are increasing to level 110, this skilling item can potentially save you hundreds of hours. That being said, during the recording and creation of this video, we have actually just gotten our first look at some new skilling offhands coming into the game. It looks like runecrafting is going to get a brand new active skilling method that's gonna give a ton more runes and more experience by taking you across Gielinor through all the different runecrafting altars. And the divination offhand will straight up make divination more AFK and more XP per hour. So if you are looking to get the most of those methods, consider making some runecrafting and divination urns with your measure now. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sure a lot of you are wondering where the RuneScape Showdown is. It is coming along nicely, and it will be great when it comes out. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it.